Hello everyone, it's Grandpa Hickory. Welcome to my video. Cheers to all. I got my Yorkshire Gold tea. Hope you got your coffee or your tea. Hope all is well with you and your family. Are we living in a controlled society? Friends, it is my personal opinion. I'll be turning 75 years of age this year. And I have come more and more to the realization that we are being controlled. Okay. And the next question is, who is controlling us? People, when you get about 5 years of age, they put you kindergarten, stuff like that, and they start massing everybody together, and you're limited. If you want to be yourself, you're not allowed to. You got to fall in line and do what you're told to do. Then, when you get school age, you go to school, and you have to conform and be like everybody else, and you have to do what they tell you to do, and you will learn what they want you to be taught. Also, they have idols. And this is for the masses to compare themselves with. And they market them and they make millions upon millions of dollars off of them. Elvis Presley, the Beatles, so many are put up there, and you're told that you're never going to be like them, you're never going to be successful, that you might as well just get some humdinger job, just get by the best you can, and that's all for you. While the elites that are pulling this off, they're getting the money and going to the banks, they and their families enjoying themselves while they have all of us divided against each other. White against black. They divide up the religions. And everybody's against everybody. Then you've got Muslims that are an ideology. They're not even a religion, and yet they are claiming that they have rights under our Constitution, that they have freedom of religion. That's not religion, that's ideology. And they come forth for one reason, and that is to destroy, conquer, and kill, and take over. Look what's going on in the UK, friends. You go walking on the streets in the UK, you better watch it. They'll hack you to pieces with a machete. You think I'm kidding? They already tried to take over 500 acres in North Dallas and institute Sharia law. They had their own police force, their own government, and everything else. And Governor Abbott came in and said, "You're not doing that in my state, in my country." Well, they got attorneys suing like everything. This is our right. No, you don't have a right to come in and conquer our nation. But people, what I'm trying to tell you and what I want to get across to you is that we are all pitted against each other. We used to be on farms. Everybody used to have their own garden. We didn't take all these drugs that they give us that have side effects. We didn't have all this expensive health care that costs so much money and they don't do anything for you. You go to your primary care physician and you're subjected to nothing but mountains of tests. One test after the other test, after the other test, after the other test. And then they give you prescriptions, and all it does is mask the symptoms. And it's got all these other side effects. So they're effectively euthanizing elderly people. The seniors, look at it. They forced every one of us to control us, to move into cities. Have you ever heard of the mouse experiment? The mouse experiment? They got all these white mice. They put them in this big, huge pen. And boy, they bred, they lived it up. They gave them food and everything was right there for them. Well, they turned into literally thousands. And then what happened? All of a sudden, they died off. Every one of them died. They stopped breeding. They stopped eating. They stopped everything. Why? Because the masses were all crowded together. And that's the way it is with us. We are controlled. Just like me and other seniors, and I'm sure possibly you or your friends or family members are trapped in a rental trap. The lobbyists, which are bribers, they say we're special interest groups. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're bribers. We vote politicians in our legislature and everything else into office to represent us. But the lobbyists come in there with big bags of cash and say, hey, never mind those little people, and they start passing out cash. Our legislature here in Texas was bribed. So they allowed all this real estate lobbyist bribers to pass these laws in Texas, and the Democrat judges, Democrat tax assessor collectors, have been robbing widows and widowers of their homes. They're stealing them from them. You're behind on your taxes. We're taking your home away from you. Because they raised the property tax up so high, equivalent with California, when we're not California. They raise it as high as New York when we're not New York. Do you see how they control? And they say, okay, your Constitution says that you can come out and like our forefathers, they would kill traitors and people that were trying to overthrow our government from within. And they say, we know you got Second Amendment rights and your Constitution says that you can fight politicians, but if you do it, we've got the U.S. Marshals, we've got the ATF, we got the FBI, and we got SWAT teams in your local Democrat-controlled law enforcements. Everything's been controlled by the Democrats. They started this in 1964. They came out in force. Medicare was ushered in. All the old-timers were suddenly thrown into Medicare. Medicare don't pay nothing. Listen, man, I had to have surgery and dentures made on the bottom. I need it for the top. I don't have the money. He sent me to a Medicare dentist. I went to him, and he sent me to a specialist way out in Flower Mound, Texas. And I live way over here, the other side of DFW, way out. Well, I went over there. They had to put me to sleep. And anyway, they did the surgery, and they made the denture for the bottom and everything. And then I was presented with a $21,970 bill. Well, I immediately contacted Medicare and said, what's going on here? And they said, you're out of network. I said, what do you mean I'm out of network? This is what United Healthcare does to you and all the rest of them. Humana, they're all in on it, people. They are controlling you, and they are controlling the use of your dental and your medical. They are controlling the masses. So I argued with them and told them, hey, look, your Medicare dentist you sent me to in Weatherford, Texas, is the one that sent me there. They said, do you have that in writing? No, they said, okay, case closed. You're responsible for the full bill. And this, I've talked to other seniors, talked to people. Friends, these things not being done in a corner. They are controlling the masses. Who is controlling the masses? The elites. They call them the dark state. And these are the people that are behind the scene that are controlling world politics. They're controlling everything. They're controlling the masses. How do you control the most intelligent and creative specimen on this planet? You control them by division. You divide them up against each other. They've got to compete against each other. They've got to always be in a state of misery and confusion and fear. Fear of what? Fear of one another. You turn on the news, what do you hear? Nothing but bad stuff. Killing, bang bangs, carjackings, rapes, robberies, murders. And they keep throwing this stuff out there and throwing it out there. And they're saying, look at your forefathers. They were violent. They were bad. And look at the world nowadays. It's violent. It's bad. Everything's bad. Bad, 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 bad. You're bad, 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 bad. So they control us. They took our right away from us to form militias and to protect ourselves from people that would come into our government and try to overthrow us from within. They took that right away from us back in the 1800s, and they started law enforcement. Now, law enforcement's in charge of everything. They're all together and they go, oh, we got to go out here, we got to write speeding tickets because you people speeding, you're bad, 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 bad. They make the speed limits so low. They know exactly what they're doing. They're not going out there to protect people from speeders. They're going out to dig their hand in your pocket and my pocket. They want every penny that is in your wallet. And look how they control us. The IRS, income tax, is totally unconstitutional. Totally unconstitutional. Has anybody armed resistance went against to stop them? No. Why? Because they control law enforcement. They don't allow you to do these things. Yes, you have a right to carry a gun, but if you defend yourself with that gun, you better be ready to pay a lot of money to an attorney, and they're going to take every gun you possess away from you, and you got to pay a firearm storage fee. $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, whatever that Democrat judge says that you got to pay. And you say, why are you doing that? They say, it's firearm storage, sir. You have to pay the city and the county for storing your guns when they're the ones that took them away from you. Then they come after you and charge you with murder. Well, you've got to defend yourself, and if you don't have video, you're up on Cripple Creek. They'll send you and they'll put you in prison deep. You better believe they will. And the prisoners don't like citizens that protect themselves. They don't like them. But do you see what I'm getting at about the control that they have on us? You used to have the right to protect yourself and to protect your family, like all these illegal alien Mexicans in our nation. All these illegal aliens. We as citizens should be allowed to eliminate these invaders that have hey, you don't think that if you went to Mexico and crossed that border, that the people of Mexico wouldn't cut your throat? You don't think the people of Mexico don't kill gringos? And gringos are never heard from again? I knew some little boys that worked as dishwashers at a restaurant. They didn't have any money. And they went down to Mexico, and I told them, don't do that. And they drove across the border. A Mexican police officer pulled them over and said, how much money you got on you? And they complied, because they thought, you couldn't come in unless you could take care of yourself. They said, we got $40. He said, give me $30 of it right now, or I'm going to put you in jail. They said, why? He said, because I said so, gringos. Well, they gave him $30. They only had $10, so they turned around, go back across the border. He pulled them over again. He said, where are you going? They said, well, we're going back home. We only got $10. We were going to buy some things and everything here for our parents. And he said, give me the $10, or I'm taking you to jail and impounding your car now. They had to give him the $10, and he stood there waving at them as they drove across the border. And the border patrol agent was standing there. It witnessed the whole thing. And they pulled over and told him. He said, yes, I know. This happens all the time. We try to warn people, but people don't listen. They come down here on school breaks, and so many of them are never heard from again. The citizens take them out and murder them. They perform voodoo rituals on them, and they actually remove the brains and the heart from their bodies in their voodoo ceremonies that they have in Mexico. People, what do? We're a controlled society. Why didn't anybody stop the Democrats when they opened our border and every citizen, 80 million, whatever, 100, 200 million, 300 million, whatever it is? Why did they not rise up and remove that party from our government? That party started the Civil War. That party hired assassins to assassinate Abraham Lincoln. All these mysterious assassination attempts on Donald J. Trump. Wonder who's paying for it. Huh? Look at John Fitzgerald Kennedy. His own party, LBJ, had him knocked off. Why? Because he died with over $900 million in his account. Where'd he get that money at, people? From contractors, Bell Helicopter, and all the other defense companies that benefited from the Vietnam War. Your people, other people in America, went to Vietnam, were forced to go, were drafted in and forced to go because LBJ said they had to. John Fitzgerald Kennedy wasn't going to do it, so they killed him. And then all these boys went into Vietnam and were killed. They didn't care. They didn't care. LBJ one time was at Bell Helicopter looking at all those helicopters that Bell Helicopter was, he's making all kinds of money. And a soldier was there, saluted him and said, "Sir, which one's yours?" And LBJ, he looked around at all of them and he did like this. He said, "Son, all of these are mine. Do you see what I mean?" They took prayer out of our schools. They forced busing. They destroyed our education. They gave black people minority rights over whites, which continues to this very day. They were hoping to start a racial war so they could declare martial law. Then they could come in and eliminate everybody that does not vote for them. They destroyed our health care system. They started Medicare. They've controlled the masses. Look at the graveyards that have been filled up by elderly and seniors, possibly your grandparents, your dad, your mom, your relatives. What's going on? Euthanasia. Oh, they call it's hospice. They pat you on the back because we care. And yet they are the ones, through United Healthcare and Humana, that constantly have elders taking sacks of pills every day, and every one of them have different side effects. So they got to take more pills for those side effects until the human body breaks down, till they can no longer walk, they're topsy-turvy from synthroid, and they fall down and bust their heads open, their faces, they break their bones, and they put them in nursing homes, and the doctor comes in and says, "We're going to have to put them on hospice. Don't worry, we're going to take care of them. They won't suffer anymore." Then he hollers at the girl up front, "Next." People, I'm not exaggerating all this. I'm turning 75 years of age, Lord willing, this October of this year. And I'm looking around and I'm realizing so many things. People, I'm trapped. I'm trapped in a rental trap. I've been trying to buy a property and have a tough shed built from Home Depot and have contractors come in and finish it out, have me a wood stove and have a garden and have a well and get off grid and get out of this rat race. People, they control us. They got us living in apartment complexes that have no insulation, cracks in the doors, cracks in all the windows, wind blows through constantly. Utility bills are through the roof, and they go up and up and up on the rent. And let me tell you something else that nobody will tell you. The press, the media keeps us away because they don't want everybody realizing this. We're controlled. Okay, everybody's cramped in apartments, okay? Some of them are above and below you. Have you ever heard of a firearm? Have you ever heard people arguing and fighting, and suddenly gunshots are heard? Gunfire starts erupting? Where do those bullets go that are flying through the air? Where are they going? Coming right at you. I heard about a little black girl in Fort Worth, Texas, not too long ago. She jumped up in her grandma's lap. I think the little girl was 4 years old. And the grandma was telling her a story. And about that time, a bullet come through the window and hit that little girl right in the head, and she fell backwards. That grandmother will never be the same again. That woman has suffered and suffered and suffered, and will never forget the look on that child's face when that bullet burst that head open and the little child fell lifeless to the floor. People, we're controlled. And just like in apartments, I'll tell you something else they don't tell you about. They keep going up and up and up and up and up on rent, property prices, property taxes, which are totally illegal. That's another Democrat unconstitutional law. Look at the state income taxes they have. That's another Democrat imposed unconstitutional tax. It's taxation without representation, which is a violation of our Constitution, which means armed citizens can arise and put a stop to it. But they say, oh no, you can't. You can't do that. We got law enforcement and we'll come after you. You can't do that. We know you got constitutional rights. Yeah, you're American, you're free. Wave your little flag. Here, we'll even give you one. Wave your little flag. Yay! But if you try to exercise your constitutional right, we're going to have law enforcement pump you full of bullets and put you on the news that you was a crazy person. Yeah, you was a militia crazy person. They control us. They control each and every one of us. They tell us, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. And then they send masses of police officers on motorcycles. They hide behind signs, they hide in parking lots, and they're shooting you with a radar because they know that they got the speed limit so low, you're naturally going to exceed it because you're trying to take care of business you got to take care of. And they know this. It's another way for them to get into your pocket and tell you, the officer, or stormtroopers, what I call them, the DPS troopers in Texas with their clown uniforms on. They'll tell you you're bad, bad, bad. Pay your fine. Plead guilty. And then they'll stand there with their hand on the big old 45 that's bigger than they are. I can use this on you, but you can't use one. You better not have one. I'll catch you with a gun in your car. I'm going to take you to jail. But your license to carry don't matter. It don't matter to me. I got the badge. I'm in the badge club. I'm the lawman. The lawman. The lawman's got a great big gun. The lawman. And you better not be caught with one. Yes. They say you can stand your ground. You can stand your ground, but the moment you use your firearm in self-defense, we're going to put you in jail, seize all of your firearms, and we're going to charge you with murder. You're going to have to hire yourself an attorney, boy. People, we are controlled. We're told that we're American citizens, that we have rights, but they have taken our rights away from us. Who took our rights away from the elites? The Democrat Party. They've been doing this in the United States ever since John Fitzgerald Kennedy was murdered. It's part of their one world agenda. They have to destroy America from within so that they can take over and impose the one world leader. Who's the one world leader? Well, if you go to Revelations, you find out that it is a man with a number 666. People, we are being ruled. We all left our farms. We all moved to the cities. We all quit growing our own food in gardens. We go to grocery stores and they pump the food full of chemicals. Chemicals that are designed to cause the human body to fail. Sugars that give you cravings for more of it. And you got to go back and you got to keep buying it. And the elites, they're going to the bank. They don't eat what you eat. They don't eat what you eat. They wouldn't eat what you eat. People. And look at our water. Look at our water. Look at all the chemicals that they put in our water and tell, oh, this is good for you. This is good for you to drink. Drink it up. Drink it up. Go buy you some water filters. Boy, they're making hundreds of billions of dollars a year off the sale of water filters. People, we are living in a controlled society. That is my opinion. Hit the like button, subscribe, Grandpa Hickory. I didn't mean to make this so long, but people, this is not good. It's not a good thing at all. See you on the next video.